So James Harden trade. Clippers got James Harden. 76ers send PJ Tucker and Phillip. Wave me as soon as I touch down. For Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, KJ Martin, a 2028 unprotected first round pick, 2 second-round picks, a 2029 pick swap, and an additional first round pick from OKC. The Clippers are sending 27's first round pick swap to Oklahoma, clearing the way for the Thunder to move a protected 20. Oh my God, that doesn't matter. Oh my God. The Sixers are going to waive Danny Green as well. So I think that's the only person. The other person that's important.
Wait, the Thunder got another pick?
Sage.
They traded a pick and got a pick back. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So I mean, initial thoughts, because I know a lot of people were, James can't keep doing this. He can't keep getting away with this. He did it. Again. He did it.
He stands on business. Go ahead, Domo. But he stands on business.
I was just saying, in terms of just the trade, I think it's a lose-lose. I don't think there's a use for James Harden in La La Land. I don't understand what's the point of having him and Westbrook in the backcourt together yet again, surrounding Paul George and Kawhi. Westbrook has made it very clear that he is comfortable in his role now. And I don't understand I don't understand. Is he about to come off the bench? Like, you're about to have Westbrook pissed off again coming off the bench? Or you're going to have James Harden, the guy that just said in the fucking interview, he's not a system player. He's the system. You have that nigga coming off your bench? Like, I don't know how this is going to work. I thought it was terrible when the idea was pitched and he said he wanted to go there. I didn't see a point, and that was bad. Now, for Philly, on the other hand, I don't know and this is Nick Nurse, and I'm not surprised. I was pointing out about
before you go to Philly, real quick. Talk about because we watched the Lakers game last night. Like, we had the benefit of watching the Lakers play the Clippers last night and not having to talk about the trade. And that was a to the wire overtime game with what people would say is a good team. And me, you, and Bezos were watching it. And what was the question that came up in like the fourth quarter and overtime?
Where the fuck is James Harden going to play in this lineup? Or who are you benching for James Harden?
At this very moment.
If you bench Russ for James Harden, yes, now niggas can't sit in the paint and let him shoot, but he's a fucking chair on defense. At least Russ is on ball defensively better and
Russ
gives you
played good last night. Russ played
good. He played good until he started turning the ball over and being Westbrook, but he played relatively good. But I'm saying, you either take the lack of shooting for Westbrook and you get everything else, or you get the shooting from James Harden, you get the playmaking from James Harden, then you get nothing else. He's not about to crash the glass hard. He's not going to play any defense. So you have to sacrifice that. And then if you're going to play both of them and have PJ Tucker at the 5, to me, that looks like an asininely crazy lineup. Westbrook, Harden, PG, Kawhi, and PJ Tucker or Zubac. Like, it's just it's. I don't get it. I don't see how it's going to work for him being there. And I want to go to the Sixers side of it because I felt at least you can get Terrence Mann out the deal. I thought at least you need to get another guard back. You getting 17 fucking forwards is crazy, and all these niggas are past their prime. Motherfuckers trying to tell me, other than KJ Martin, but they're not going to use KJ Martin. I don't think they're going to use KJ Martin. I feel like they're barely going to use fucking Nick Batum. They're really just going to use Rocco, and Rocco ain't the same Rocco he was when he was there the first time. Nick Batum is 39. KJ Martin he should be a utilized player, but I don't think they're going to use him. I don't get the point of trading James Harden, your playmaker, and having Tyrese Maxey take the bulk of the playmaker responsibilities. I don't think Maxey's a good playmaker. I think he's a phenomenal scorer. I think he's an okay playmaker, but it's going to be a problem. I know it's going to be a problem for them. So this is a lose-lose trade to me.
I think there's certain teams in the league that have been trying to win a championship for the last 4 or 5 years. Celtics being one of them. Where they just keep on.
Celtics.
Yeah. The Celtics are one of them. I said that. Where they just try to, they have their certain core, and it's looking like we're coming to the tail end of it. And they're just trying to reach for whatever they can to try to maximize and push the championship window as much as possible. I think the Clippers are one of them. I do think the Suns are also one of them. So yeah, all the concerns that y'all brought up are very valid. The only thing that I do like about this trade, though, is with this team having injury concerns at their top two, being Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, I do like the idea of like, okay, worst case if 2 out of their 4 stars go down, one, they still got a decent amount of depth, and number 2, you're rolling into a game led by Russ or James Harden or Paul George or Kawhi and Russell Westbrook. Like a combination of those two can win you a game at any night. Like they're still good to do that. So I like it from that point, but all the things that y'all are bringing up are valid though. And I still don't know what they're going to do to stop a guy like Jokic. At the end of the day, the West, I feel like, is going to run through Jokic and the Nuggets in some regard. I don't. What is Zubac gonna do? What is Kawhi gonna do? I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. Calm 6 trade 5-6.
I disagree with all of you. I'm going to say
in terms of, we might be on the same page.
Yeah, in terms of the 76ers, I think niggas is tripping. That's a W. The reason why this is a W is for multiple reasons. One, Philly it's essentially 3 first-round picks. You get a pick, I believe, in 2028, 2029 is essentially a pseudo pick, and you get one in 2026. The reason number 2, they're essentially going to be rich as fuck, even with Embiid's contract on the team. They are getting 2 expiring deals. PJ Tucker is likely going to re-up on that play. 3 expiring deals. Pardon me. So they're getting 3 expiring deals.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4. My bad, Sage. I'm sorry.
All of them are expiring. Damn.
Yeah, all of them are expiring.
Okay, 4. And W correction. 4 expiring deals while simultaneously still having Joel Embiid on roster. Now, me personally, I think the next step is back Embiid up, but that's besides the point. Even if you want to contend with them, you have him, you have Tyrese Maxey, and you have players that you can at least somewhat see the defensive ability. You can at least somewhat see, one, how good Tyrese Maxey is, clearly in the number 2 spot. 2, and more importantly, what kind of role players do you need around Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid? Do you need defenders? Do you need shooters? You get that information. 3, and most importantly, it's an elephant in the room. It's not my main point personally. I like the picks, to be honest. But obvious elephant, James Harden weren't going to fucking play. And if he was going to play, he was going to troll. You telling me that for all the upset assets in the league that get traded, you're still getting 3 first-round picks for that? I think that's an instant W. In terms of Los Angeles, I could see L, at best lowercase W. I'm 100%. To be honest, boo, Sage moment. I'm 50-50 on it. The reason I'm 50-50 on it is everything Damo said is just 100% valid. They are. I'm scared for Russell Westbrook in this lineup, and I know y'all consider me a Russell Westbrook hater because of our time with the Lakers. I've been moved past that shit. I don't know what you do with Russ. I guess James Harden can play off ball. They have had their time in Houston, but if people remember, they left Houston because they were like, yo, you're my homie, but we just don't fit. Like, we just don't play together. So I'm worried about that while also having a guy like Paul George and Kawhi out there. But on the flip side, if you manage it the right way, aka if James Harden is willing to be off ball, or Kawhi and PG just get a lower creator role, which they can do, maybe you have something going. If you have one of them just solely come off the bench, that definitely can work, but I don't think that's practical considering who they are. I don't think that starting 5 that Damo said at the end is bad. That's just a huge fuck you to Russ. You telling me the dude had to sacrifice his role in LA in the Lakers, sorry, because he's still in LA. Had to sacrifice his role in the Lakers, goes to the Clippers, finally gets a bigger role, starts playing great, and then he has to sacrifice that again for a guy who, not that he was bad, but is he really that much better than me? So I got to sacrifice again. So that's tough. It's very tough. But I definitely think y'all are bugging on the Sixers. That's a W.
Can I ask, before you go, Omar, can I ask, Sage, you trust the 76ers to be... So with these draft picks, I assume you're planning for them to trade these picks for somebody, like to make a move to get a star?
Fuck no.
So you expect them to use these picks to draft with?
I expect them to use these picks for one of 2 reasons. Either A, Embiid hasn't worked out. They're going to ride out this Embiid train till he's 33. Bro failed. All right, process failed. Pack him up. Or he signed somewhere else. That's their safe. Worst case floor is fail safe. Best case scenario is what I believe. Bro, you're not winning with Joel Embiid. Trade the nigga. Get your picks now and later. Retool this shit. You have Tyrese Maxey. That's a nice young fun piece.
Now my only reason I asked that is because I came to this realization pretty recently. Why are we? I don't think motherfuckers just getting picks is always a good thing if your draft history shows you're not going to be you're not good at drafting late in the lottery. And I bring that up because if you look at their recent draft history, just in the last, we didn't have one in 2023. So 2022, 21, 20, 19, hell, even 18. You go to 18, Landry Shamet, they traded Mikal and got fucking Zaire Smith. You look at 19, they traded Boston Carson. Like, there's nobody here. Where it's Ty Jerome, who's not playing there. You look at 20, they got Paul Reed in the second round, who's playing now, but cool. Isaiah Joe, who was serviceable on OKC, so he's not playing there. They mismanaged that. You have Theo Madeline, who's playing in Charlotte, they're not using him. They got Maxey at 21. Cool. In 20, they got Maxey. Cool. In 20 and 20 at 21, they got Maxey. In the 2021 draft, Jaden Springer, I don't know who the fuck. I don't know what Jaden Springer does.
I don't know where he is.
Philip, the Philip nigga, they just traded him. They got him in the second round.
Right.
And then Charles Baisley, he's on the Spurs. They're not using him. Mismanaged asset. He's on the Spurs. David Roddy, who they picked 2020 and 2022, they have him at pick 23. He's playing on the Grizzlies bench. He's not using them. So in recent history, these draft picks that they have, and it's not like they only get one player. They've drafted a multitude of players who are around the league. They just don't play on the Sixers. So they mismanage assets. I don't find it to be a W for this team to get 3 first-round picks if you're going to misuse them.
Are you talking about from the outside looking in or like from their perspective as well? Because I don't think the Sixers are going to sit there and say, yeah, we don't draft well, so let's not.
Well, I'm saying, obviously from there, I would assume from their perspective, they think they're going to kill it in the draft every time they fucking draft.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in,
okay.
I don't think it's just. That's why I asked him, do you think they're going to use those picks in a trade scenario to get a different asset? Because then I'm with you. But if they're going to draft, if you think they're going to draft with them, nigga, chop that up to a waste of picks.
I'll personally can't grade a trade that way, and because while there's a sense of reality that the trade can essentially it can be still a good trade, but they can fumble it. But that's what I would call it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad trade because this organization can't draft. Two, even then, I would question the both logics of the Clippers team being good in 2027, or the Thunder will be good in 2027, but the Clippers team being good in 2027, let alone the Sixers management staying the same. Because again, let's think of the scenarios in which they are going to be really using those picks versus trading for a star. That means Embiid didn't work out or got traded. Oh, and I should have put the second finger up. That means Embiid didn't work out or got traded. And at that point, I'd be shocked if the 2023-24 staff is still there. I'd be flustered.
That's fair. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, they draft well." Blah 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 blah. No, they don't. You're just talking out your ass. If you look, yes, if you have a top 3 pick, that would limit your ability to fuck up a draft pick.
Right.
But literally, if you're looking at it, let's just look back from 2009. Drew Holiday at 17, cool. They picked Evan Turner the next year at number 2.
All right.
In 2011, they picked Vucevic, and he ended up leaving. They weren't using him. He ended up leaving. In 2012, at the 15th pick, they picked Maurice Harkless. In 2013 and 11, they picked Michael Carter Williams. He had a great rookie year. What happened to MCW after that? In 2014, Joel Embiid at the 3rd pick, Elfrid Payton at the 10th pick. They got rid of Elfrid Payton. He ended up on Orlando draft. They traded. In 2015, they picked the wrong guy at Jahlil Okafor because they drafted for talent instead of what they needed because they already had Joel Embiid. But they took Okafor at 3. So even with a high pick, you still make the wrong choice. In 2016, they took Ben Simmons number 1. Whoop-de-doo, you took the consensus number 1 pick, number 1. You shouldn't fuck that up. In 2017, they had number 1 pick and fucked it up. They should have picked Jason Tatum. They picked Markelle. He put the shoulder up. He gets packed up. That's not on them, though. Markelle, that was an injury, so I'll give you a pass on that. And now we're ending up back where we fucking started when I started about their picks. Mikal Bridges at 10, and they trade him for Zaire Smith. So if you're going to sit there and tell me, oh, they do draft well, they draft decent. No, they don't, nigga. No, they.
And I'll to add on to that too, though. In other recent examples of like, let me stockpile draft picks, and this is why I'm like, oh, the guys that are like built through the draft, like winning a title just doesn't necessarily work that way inherently.
Yeah.
Where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, were those they traded back to get Jason Tatum, right?
Yeah, we originally had the number 1 overall pick, and then we moved down to number 3 to get the number 3 plus another pick.
Yeah. And Jaylen Brown was y'all's pick?
It was the Brooklyn pick.
It was the Nets pick.
It was a Brooklyn pick. Okay, so that could be one right there. But other than that, like I'm not seeing too much of Boston's guys. Yeah, these guys had good times on Boston, I guess, or whatever the case may be. But I'm not seeing titles. One finals appearance with some of these guys when they stockpiled assets. A lot of those guys were fucking poo-poo, but like they were just trash. And the same thing with OKC. I said the same thing with OKC right now. Like Josh is cool. And J-Dub is cool, but other than that, they got some guys.
I might say Chet's pretty cool.
Is Chet not their pick though?
Is Chet not? I thought Chet was their pick.
Where was Chet?
I thought was Chet not their pick and J-Dub was the pick that they got traded, or was it reversed?
Yeah, I thought it was the inverse. I thought J-Dub was the.
I'm saying picks that you get via the trade. So if it's your pick,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm saying I thought Chet was 2 and Jalen Williams was.
Chet was their pick, and J-Dub ended up being the traded pick.
When did he get picked?
Okay, then what I'm saying is right. What I'm saying is right. Like J-Dub is cool. Like I can give them that, but for the other picks that they have, I'm not seeing anything. And they
got traded.
What they got traded or whatever the case may be. I just don't. I'm not always seeing it. I do want to point this out because I mean, it's not gonna take me too long to talk about.
Nah, go ahead, bro. You ain't talking yet.
No. The Clippers. It's not gonna take me too long to talk about them. Next year, 3 guys on the books, 1, 2, and then this team option for Jaden Springer.
You gotta pay Maxey, and that's it.
So I just don't. Like I really like when I say I don't know what they're doing. If it's okay, we're hoping we can get somebody here. I looked at the free agents. I don't see anybody that's coming here per se in order to help them out with this MVP level player that they have here. If it is to clean house to get Embiid, my God, they should take the team out of Philadelphia. But I honestly have no clue what's going on here. I have not one singular clue what they're doing unless they're going to give these old guys just another show. They've made themselves significantly worse, in my opinion.
They said this is what Woj said. They're positioning themselves to be a really big player at the trade deadline and in free agency next year. But free agency next year apparently is not supposed to be the best free agency class. And this trade deadline, we're really looking at Pascal Siakam and Zach LaVine. Yeah. Is that really moving the needle to me? I don't think so, but they're getting desperate. No. I think the Sixers are another one of those teams that like, all right, we're getting desperate. We're in this Embiid era. We've signed them. We're still trying to make this work, but at the end of the day, like the moves that they can make is just not going to push them over the 100.
I hear that, B-Souls, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I'm not going to lie. I don't see it in the trade deadline. And in the free agency, I looked at it. I mean, we got technically Kawhi, Pascal, Tyrese, Paul George, LeBron, James, Drew Holiday, but these are guys that I
think they're going the depth route. So I'll be blunt. The reason why I still think it's a W trade, even if they end up keeping Embiid, granted it'd be a little bit of a lower case, but not a full lower, if that makes sense. I think it's a capital W at this moment in time, to be honest. I think that nigga wasn't playing. Like he wasn't playing. You got 3 picks, even at the floor of not valuing him as a dub. But I think a beautiful way isn't necessarily building through the draft, but now they're in a position to where they can compete. And then if that goes wrong, there'll be a team that's in the lottery while simultaneously having other picks. So if you're a shit team, having 2 picks is always a fucking good thing. That at least gives you double the odds to not fuck up. So that's the baseline floor. The greatest potential of it is what I assume they're doing, waiting till this year or next year's free agency, which is giving Embiid a team with depth. I don't think we've ever been able to say that. He've always had a top 3 or 4-ish type of team, and then the other players are cool.
I'm seeing another team where niggas can't get him the ball. There's a bunch of old, slow forwards.
Oh, not this year.
Team.
No, not this year. This year they're fucking around. It's just this year they're fucking around. Unless Tyrese Maxey is way better than I think he is.
You're essentially just hoping that they'll do something immaculate in the future because this like primes them to do it.
I don't think I'm hoping they kind of have to. They can't have 3 players.
Oh
yeah,
well, I don't.
I'm about to say they literally.
I think they'll fill it out, but I don't know about anything that I don't know about anything that'll make them really be contenders. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's why I think you should trade them.
In the East, to me, I don't know what our rankings were. They moved down pretty significantly. And even if they make the playoffs.
Oh, Philly? I had Philly at like 7.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. See, y'all going to make me sound like a Philly fan, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. But roll
out a starting lineup before you do that. Roll out a starting lineup of who they got.
Well, who I got, it's a bad playoff team, but I'll explain why it'll be a decent regular season team. They would have something along the lines of, let me pull up their entire roster. 76ers.
I'm going to go get a bev real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Short for beverage for those that don't know in the chat.
And things of that nature.
Bev.
They likely go something along the lines of Tyrese at the 1, because unless you're really, really, really dumbing down on defense, but you can, because technically you kind of got Rocco and Batum. Yeah, I could see them doing something like Maxey at the 1, though. Probably like an oversized 2 at this point. Unless you really want to run Pat Bev at the 1, you probably go oversized at the 2 and go like Nick Batum. Then at the 3, you probably pretty much have to go Tobias Harris. At the 4, Rocco. At the 5, Joel Embiid. And that team and the bench being guys like, I'm not a fan of Paul Reed, admittedly. Kelly Oubre, D'Anthony Melton, Patrick Beverly, Daniel House. Not a fan of all these motherfucking players, to be honest. And Marcus Morris. I've got to get Marcus Morris. I am tripping. They got Marcus Morris. He might start for them, actually. But I say that to say this team in the regular season, hey, look, I'm gonna sound like a head ass. Embiid is good. Embiid's good. And he will give teams 50. The same way we say a lot of people don't have a matchup for Jokic. I know in the playoffs they have matchups, but against motherfucking Joel Embiid, not a lot of regular season teams have a matchup for this nigga. Like, how many centers in the league do you think match up well against Joel Embiid that aren't going to make the playoffs? And I think that team genuinely is going to offer the strength of his greatness, and then a guy like Tyrese, probably 6-7-ish. I definitely think they're still going to be in contention for the playoffs. I never ranked them like 4, hopefully. I think, I might have actually said 4 prior to, but I assume Harden's going to
They still got Oubre, and Oubre's been hooping. Let me go to the Clippers so we can speed past this real quick.
Coach, Melton's not starting, dude.
Only thing I'm gonna say about
no.
Melton is starting.
No, I was saying if I were to start him, I wouldn't start him. He got mad that I said D'Anthony Melton and assumed I was starting him. I wouldn't start again.
You should.
For the Clippers. I mean, we did watch it last night. Yeah. I know what Steve Ballmer is doing. He talked about it on Paul George's podcast. Sometimes why you got to listen to these podcasts, man. They'll talk about it, and then everything in the season will make a lot more sense. It'll make so much more sense when you see what the fuck is going on. But like Damo said, we watched it, and they were hooping. It looked like it was working. It was very cohesive. They just got LeBron, who's having a phenomenal season, especially in that fourth quarter. My God, I hate that he has to play like that, but it is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I saw phenomenal stuff from the Clippers side, and I thought to myself, man, they got to take Russ out to put James Harden's ball stopping ass in this game, or
this is the only thing.
The answer is putting James Harden on the bench, but that's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
They got to take PJ Tucker out for James Harden's
the only thing I'll give right now against pushback to that game specifically, because I don't even necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but against that game specifically, people ain't gonna talk about it. PG and Kawhi dropping 20 in separate quarters is a crazy thing to just expect. Like that's the reason that their game wasn't nasty. Them niggas put up 20-point quarters in the 2 most important of the game of basketball, in my personal opinion. They started the game off strong, and then they low-key clutched the fuck up. I just knew he was gonna fucking lose.
You saying that, but honestly, when I sign a 2-man tandem, that's what I expect.
In 1 quarter?
Yes, I expect on any given night
from one of the players in 1 quarter.
Yes, bro. I expect it to be your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. Who's hot right now? Let you go. Oh, I'm hot right now. Let me go, and we go back and forth. But the difference is, if James can sit back and accept that, and he also be a part of the rotation of, okay, I'm hot, that's fine. But again, like we said on the other end, I'm not gonna lie, Russ was active. Russ was flying around. He was pestering people, all that stuff. And then, James is pretty solid still, but
Yeah,
was nice for him last night.
So here's my thing. If that's an expectation, which I think that means literally his career high, I wouldn't expect them to do that. But if I would say at that point, why would you be against the trade then? Because by that logic, a team like Phoenix and a team like the Clippers now, if you expecting two quarters out of those two players, James Harden should give you 20 in the quarter in either the second or the third. And at that fucking point, fuck Russ. If you can get 60 points from 3 different players in 3 different quarters, I'd bar they win the chip tomorrow. So I don't understand that. I disagree with that logic.
I don't want niggas to literally think that I want them to go out there and get 20, but I expect them to be scorers because that's what they are. Period, point blank. I expect them to score the basketball at high clips. I have 3 unguardable people. I think that even the Suns comparison, I think the Suns 3 works better fit wise than this 3 right here. I just see it to be that of the case.
Is it the 3 or the 4?
Thank you. So the 4 doesn't work. The 3 definitely works. The 4 does.
3 with
Harden, Kawhi, and
Kawhi PG work, Russ Kawhi PG work, but all 4 of them together.
No. I understand what you're saying, but that's what I'm saying. I just didn't see.
No. Yeah, I'm about to say I was combating that specific thing. No. I am not. I'm 50-50 because it can work and it also can't work. I just hope that their solution isn't, and I think we all hope it's not. Yo, Russell Westbrook spot up, boom. That's GG's. There's no way that's the play. I don't know what the play is. I don't know.
Ironically, this is given like when the Nets traded for Harden too, because even back then I was on the hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kyrie, KD, and this squad is like hooping right now. Understand on paper it makes y'all better, but like y'all got something good right now. Don't fuck it up. It's too soon to fuck it up or change it.
I don't agree with that because with him going to Harden pairing up with Kyrie, that works a lot better because of how good Kyrie is off the ball scoring. And you can't treat Kyrie like Westbrook, and it wasn't already an abundance of talent. He went to a duo and made it a big 3. Now you have a big 3 who has already got good chemistry, and you're making it a big 4, and now you have 2 of the players playing a similar play style. I don't think there's and we've seen it before, and we see how that went. Like, literally, the only way you maximize that lineup was getting rid of Clint Capella, putting PJ at the 5 to space the floor out. Okay, well, now you can't play Russ and Harden together alongside Kawhi and PG because at the center, if you put PJ Tucker there, teams are just going to sag off the Russ now. Like,
you're 6, 7, and under. Fuck that. It's just free smoke on the glass. And then if you have Zubac,
again, you'll have a situation like last night when the Lakers ran 3 bigs, and they were just like, all right, bet, somebody handle Zoo. We can put one of us on Russ and sag off, and then somebody's going to have a mismatch because Paul George or Kawhi is going to be guarding them. So it's like, all right, so you're fucked in that situation. And I understand every team can't go 3 bigs like the Lakers did. Like, I get every team can't do that. But for them, I felt them having Westbrook and Westbrook proving in the playoffs how he can play and contribute to this team. I felt that was a sign that, okay, y'all don't need to get Harden.
Also, their 2 biggest ops can do that, so I won't even let you belittle that point because the Nuggets are a team that, well, if outside of just saying Jokic is worth well of 3 bigs, if he's not, then I ain't gonna lie, Zeke Naji's just gonna snag their shit.
I'm about to say, if Zeke Naji's healthy, you have Zeke Naji and Jokic, you can both stretch the floor, and now you have fucking Aaron Gordon at the 3.
Yeah, either way, 3 bigs matters. So
let me finish my Clippers point too, because that's the other thing too. Like, you have for the people that don't know, this is probably what they're thinking. You have a monster in Jokic there. And I just saw Boston and Philly, not Boston and Philly, Boston and Milwaukee make moves that they felt could combat each other because they saw themselves be at the top of the Eastern Conference. I think, and from what I understand, they made this move, the Clippers made this move in order to sell some tickets. This wasn't to beat Jokic. This wasn't to beat Denver. Based off of what we know about Denver's offense with a lot of movement, which is not, James Harden strong.
Harden is really gonna get exposed. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
and then also this is what it's coming down to. But go ahead.
Was still a big Jokic. Still not addressing that. They didn't do anything to address that. What they did do was address that large amount of money that Steve Ballmer had to pay out in order to get that studio or that stadium. That's what they did address. There's a lot of jerseys being sold, a lot of press tours going on. yeah, it's going to be a lot of tickets being sold based off of the big four. Even if they lose one person, two person, you already see they're dubbing it as like, oh, the SoCal guys came home. Can't wait for those shirts to come out. Loving and living in SoCal. Did y'all know that Steve Ballmer had to buy 2 stadiums in order to get the stadium?
No.
Nope.
I did not know that.
He had to buy the Forum first due to some, governmental zonal type things or whatever. But he had to buy the old Forum, and the old Forum was owned by the Dolans out of New York. So he bought the old Forum, and then he had to then he made his new stadium. So this nigga has two stadiums under his belt. One that he can't use for basketball games. It's a lot of money. He's paying a lot for a team right now. That's a lot of money. He gonna want some of that money back.
Yeah, Harden is definitely in a situation where, as Sol said, he can either get exposed or he can shut a lot of people up. Because this whole combo's dead if he's willing to play off ball. Nobody thinks that's going to happen. I don't even know if that necessarily optimizes his play. But if he does that, shit, Clippers alive. But other than that, he would have to show that, hey, bro, Russ, that's tough, gang. Like, you gonna have to come off the bench because I'm that fucking good with the ball in my hand. I'm that much of a compatible trio with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. It's gonna have to be that way. Because saying fuck Russell Westbrook, considering that ever since he's put on their jersey, he has been a good, if not great, player for them. I don't see it, especially when he's, as Damo alluded to, but didn't really emphasize, he's been good defensively for them. He wasn't even like that with us. He's been good, if not great. I don't want to throw the word great around. He's definitely been good defensively for them.
No, don't great, because in the playoffs, he was great.
To be honest, in the playoffs, he was great.
He was great.
Come on, bro. So it's like, I don't know how you are going to be able to say fuck Russell Westbrook after he's done nothing wrong for you, for a guy that, if he's better, is it better for that team? I don't know.